My life has changed so much.
I am so humbled to be part of this movement because it is a movement.
When I first met Kim Hui and saw the team they put together for 3, I was an immediate yes.
Because with this industry, we could step back a little bit from our careers, and we spent so much time traveling together and enjoying our lives together.
So I couldn't help but join 3 and join this amazing group of people who are ready to help to change the world.
There's no company you could be with that's got a better leadership core than this group.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in on our Empowerment Tuesday. This is Kim Hui coming to you live from Los Angeles. It's so good to be back home and watching the collage that you just saw brings back a lot of excitement and also a lot of reflection on our journey. And I have been on the road in different parts of the world for the last 3 weeks, and it's so good to be back home. And so I want to welcome you to our Empowerment Tuesday here tonight, this evening. Afternoon here in Los Angeles. And so it is so good. And I would say that today I kind of wanted to jump in and share a topic with you that's near and dear to my heart. And because of what I've been through the last 32 years, as well as the last 3 weeks working abroad in different countries, meeting with different entrepreneurs around the world. And so, and the topic here tonight is the success curve. I'm sure that we all have heard about the learning curve, right? And so, things that for us to learn to get good at something. Rarely do we hear about people talking about the success curve. And so what I like to do today is to really to talk about that and to also give an understanding of the journey and the processes. Because when we have a proper understanding of what it is and the journey and the processes that it entails, then we have a better expectation and to create the outcome that we want. And so I'm really excited about this topic, and I gave you some thoughts about what, how I could deliver this topic succinctly and effectively. And so with that, I actually got back my little technical skills, and I created a PowerPoint. So allow me to share that with you. And again, thank you for tuning in. I know it's Tuesday here in Los Angeles, and maybe to our friends in Asia, it's Wednesday morning, and to some of our friends in the East Coast, is in the evening. So I'm going to share screen to show you a slide, and then I'm going to go and dive into talk, okay? And so the slide I wanted to share is the success curve, okay, as you can see on the screen. And so the success curve is what it takes from your first action to your first breakthrough. And so a lot of people don't talk about that, and I like to share that with you. If you look at this curve, okay, your success is correlating with your growth as a human being, okay? So in the beginning, as you look at the very beginning, the time in the very beginning, it's a spark. The spark that you got sparked about this platform or about life, about things that you wanted to pursue, right? And so, and that spark is the ideas, the things that spark something in you, like the idea of, oh my goodness, I wanted to embark on something, or I wanted to change. I wanted more in life. I wanted more meaning, more connection, more whatever that is you want. So it sparks something in you. That's the very beginning. And then with the idea, it started planting the seed of possibility. A lot of times when people come into a platform like this, day one, when as an entrepreneur, the possibility, like it's almost like where we are and the dream of where we want to go is like a straight line. And yet the curve to success is not a straight line. There's many twists and turns in that. And why is that? That twist and turn, that's part of the growth. And so and this, the phase one, I would say, of this success curve is that spark. And I'm going to talk more about that later on. And then as we begin on this journey, we're going to enter phase two and phase three, which we're going to talk about. That's the nurturing and the learning and the growing and the adapting stage, whereby as you learn the things that you learn, then you begin to apply and adapt and finding your way and breaking through. Okay. And so the last phase will be breakthroughs, and which creates in result and momentum. That's stage four. So I'm going to now break it down. What does that mean? I mean, in building your business. So stage one, so now I would assume most of you here are business builders. You are here as entrepreneurs. You want to build something for you and your family. So in there's four phases of building, which I'm going to talk about. Okay. So phase one of building, it's interesting, right? When most people got the spark, and I'm going to talk about stage one because most people don't make it through stage one and they will quit. And so stage one, really, it's tutorial. Now, I'm going to talk about the building phase and phase one. And I think it's very prevalent to talk about video games. Because we have people, a lot of people that maybe my age, a little bit younger, maybe we're all familiar with video games, right? So when you play a video game, especially in this time and age, when people play video games, the first thing we do in a video game is what? It's tutorial. You got to understand the rule of the games. Okay. So how the games are played. So the video game, you have to have a tutorial. And when you go through your tutorial, some people learn, some people don't. If you don't learn, you kind of blindly go through the thing. That's when most people will drop off because they don't understand the journey and they will walk away from something that initial spark that they had. Okay. So phase one is tutorial. Okay. Now in the tutorial game, if you play a video game, what's the first thing you do? When in tutorial, you have to choose an avatar, right? An avatar. And in our business, that's defining your role. What is the role you want to play in this entrepreneurship? What is the role you want to play? And so like in a video game, you choose an avatar, right? Like whatever, like for me, I want it to be like a superhero or whatever, right? So you choose an avatar you want for the game you want to play. And so the avatar that you want to choose, that's your role. Okay. So what is the role what are you? Are you a customer? Are you a customer getter? Or are you a business builder? Are you a CEO of your own company? That's the role that you have to define. Because when you have that definition of that role, when you go talk to people, you understanding the role you play. It's kind of interesting. The minute, like, I would say that there is a lot of movies and video games. The minute you put on this Superwoman suit, you become, or Superman suit, you become the role in which you aspire to be. And so now, obviously, there's a tutorial, there's a learning journey. So I would say that the number one thing you do is you define the role in which you want to play in this business, because that would dictate how you're going to work this business. Okay. So defining the avatar, your role, and then what you learn, you're going to do, you're going to learn through this, a way of life, a way of business in this business. So in the business that we're in social e-commerce, there's a couple of things we do, right? Number one is we get customers. Customers are the baseline of our business. And number two thing, what do? We get customer getters. People like, what does that mean? Customer getters. Customers is the lifeline of the business. Customer getters are people like you and I who also want to get customers. Okay. So two things. You get customers, you get customer getters. So defining the role in which you play. Are you a customers or are you a business builder, or both? Which I am both. I'm a customer. I love the product and it shows on our faces, right? In our body, right? And I also am a business builder. I'm an entrepreneur. I look for other people. Okay. So the first phase is that tutorial. You have the spark in which you wanted to embark on. And the second thing is you have that spark and then you're going to learn. It's funny in this business. I don't know why, but it is so interesting in this business. People come in, they expect money to kind of like flock in. It doesn't. Day one, when you come in, money doesn't show up on day one. Well, to some people, as they start getting customers, yeah, you get a little money here and there, you get a little commission here and there. But this is a business. It takes us investing time in learning, in growing, in mastering the skill sets, learning the rules of the games, and then we grow as a human being. So anyway, coming back to this is that first phase tutorial. And after spending 32 years in this industry, I tell you, most people quit before they even finish the tutorial stage. Isn't it interesting? People will spend 4 years in college, pay the tuition, buying books and every day going to school. And after school for 4 years, then they go find a job. And coming to a business platform like this, if they don't make me in month 2, month 3, they quit because they have not yet mastered the basic rules of how this business, how this industry works. And so that's why I want to do this talk, is that so that people have a better gauge, a better understanding of the journey of what it takes, so that less people will quit. Okay. And so, I tell you, after spending so many years, I see over and over and over again that they come in and day one, I want to make money. I mean, and they focus more on making money. Obviously, can you make money? Absolutely. But it does take work. Why is it you spend 4 years in college and then get a job and yet coming to a business like this? And then boom, day one, they want to make a ton of money. It's just something got to give, okay? This is a legitimate business when you work it that way. And I think this talk is so timely because this industry, one of the reasons why this industry is very misunderstood, because a lot of people want to talk about success and money, but they don't want to talk about the journey, okay? And so that brings me to stage 2 of your building. And stage 2 of your building is a sorting process. And that sorting process, once you understand the rule of the game, then you got to apply. And that application is the sorting process. What are we sorting for? I love to do analogies like movie, right? Finding Nemo or The Matrix, right? Neo, are you Neo? I mean, so it is that spark within you. What are we here to do? We're here to find other people like ourselves, looking for business partners. Meaning, if you're the CEO of your company, what are we looking for? We're looking for our board of directors. You're looking for your senior executives, people that want the same thing and willing to do the same thing. But in that process of doing this, a lot of times, I'll go into a little bit. I don't want to digress, but coming back to this. So the sorting process, what are we looking for? We're looking for people who wanted more. We're looking for people that have a spark that some people wanted more vitality, more health. Some people wanted more money. Some people wanted more quality time. Some people might want more meaning. Some people might want more connection, especially in the times we're living in right now. So whatever you're looking for, we're looking for like the aces. Okay. For example, I kind of done my homework, a little preparation. Okay. So the reason why I call it a sorting game is this. There's a lot of truth about humanity, about humans. Sometimes people would tell you things. They might say one thing and what they're willing to do is two different things. Okay. So what we're looking for, people that want it more, people that are willing to work for it. Okay. So imagine people like deck of cards. Okay. So I have a deck of cards, like your own contact, my contact, let's say, for example, is my deck of cards. So my own contact, let's call it bicycle cards. Okay. So in my deck of cards, what am I looking for? I'm sorting for aces, but understanding something. In a deck of cards, of 52 cards, how many aces do we have? 4. So as we are sorting and flipping our cards, you sort the one prospect, they may look really good. You have that on your list. As you flip your cards, you might talk to I don't know how many cards I'm flipping, like 10, let's say I flip 10 cards. I have not yet found my aces yet. Most people in that process, in that journey of flipping the cards, when they don't find their aces, when people don't see what you saw, then most people will call it quits. They haven't even been through the tutorial. They're getting into the sorting process, then they quit. Now, in this deck of cards, my aces, oh my gosh, this is like 20, 30 cards. It hasn't showed up yet. Now, after 30 sorts, that's my first ace. Okay. Why is that important? Sorting for the aces. We have to be willing to flip the card. Yes, no, bye-bye, no, bye-bye. But we got to be willing to go through the process because, I mean, think about this. If you're the CEO of a company, nowadays, is it easy to find good employees, good staff, good corporate executives? No, it's a sorting process. Same thing with your business. We are looking for aces. You may have to flip so many cards before you find your next aces. But most people, this is what's called the law of averages. The law of average, you might have to go through maybe 50 people to find that one. You don't know, okay? So how do we overcome the law of averages? Is the law of large numbers. You got to be willing to go through the numbers, okay? So with that, why is it important to go through this journey? Because as you are sorting, you're learning the skill sets. You're learning, you're growing, you're learning what works, what doesn't work, in which how you prompt, ask questions. So I'm going to talk about that later on about prompting. Okay. So now, why is it important to go through that process? People say, I wish it was easier. Let me tell you why. Let's say that now you tap into another deck of cards, your friend, your contact, someone you enrolled, then they also have the deck of cards called Waikiki, okay? All right. So let's just say that Waikiki, your people that you brought in, they're super lucky. The first four card, oh, well, there's a joker. The first four card they tap into, I think it's not this one. Okay, let's hit the other one. Okay, now. Right here. Okay. Now there's another deck of card. I've done my homework. Okay. Now you flipped another deck of card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you're super lucky. The first 4 people you talk to, they're aces. Now you now they engage in the business. This is the key. This is the difference maker in our industry. It's something called duplication. You get your 4 aces. Now, what are they going to ask you? They're going to say, Kim, show me how you did it. What was your journey? What are some of the ups and downs you've gone through? I couldn't tell you because I was lucky. The 4 cards that I flipped it was all aces. Well, but had I gone through this journey of going through my numbers, going through the ups and downs, how to learn to overcome objections, how to answer questions, and the way in which how I prompted questions to seek the spark, that is the growth. That's the power of this platform. You know, in this platform, day one, money doesn't show up. But what guarantees it shows up day one is growth. Because like I said earlier, that success curve, your success is in direct correlation with growth. Okay, so growth, learning your skill sets. While you're doing your skill sets, you are increasing, you're also learning and mastering your mindsets and getting a good grip on, I will tell you this, I cannot guarantee how much money you will make in this space, this industry, but I will guarantee you one thing. You will learn some of the things to be an incredible human being. If you're willing to go on the journey, the growth that you get to do is remarkable. I look back on my journey 32 years ago when I started this industry. You know, as a corporate executive that got downsized, I was laid off here in America 32 years ago. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know I had it in me. You know, I was an accountant. What do I know about, sales? But, by going through this journey, it has allowed me to tap into that something, that to discover the talents, the things that we're all born with. But I had to go through that journey to discover that. And so there's a reason why. Okay, so now the sorting process is finding the ones that have the spark in life. There are times when you work the business, people tell you, oh, I have the spark, I want this, but then they disappear in phase in phase one in a tutorial. They haven't even finished that tutorial stage and they're gone. Okay. So like a video game, you got to be able to finish a tutorial. You got to unlock that stage to get into stage two, which is a sorting process. Okay. Finding Nemo, finding that Neo, finding the one, and believing in that process, believing that you are the one. And in that sorting process, here's something that's very important, some of the tips and the arts in the sorting process, okay? And that is when in the process of sorting, we're gonna learn the art in asking questions. So that process, all we're doing is talking to the people, building relationship, building trust, building your skill sets, building that process so that you could build your bank check. Okay. Now, so that process of learning to ask questions. Nowadays, there's a lot of AI technology. If you want to, for example, if you want to work with Grok or Chat GPT, you got to be able to learn how to prompt. Prompting is a way of asking questions. Well, it's same thing with human beings, much more fun with human beings than talking to AI. But well, it's debatable to some people, but I love talking with human beings. I'm pure human. So anyway, now talking with human beings, the way in which you prompt, how do you prompt? We listen more than we talk. You ask questions. What are some of the things that they're looking for? What are you like genuinely interested in them, and have no attachment to wanting something from them, knowing that you have something to offer. So the prompting learn. I mean, there's so many videos on how to approach the way in which you approach people. Well, first, your role, how you define of who you are, what you do, very important. Second thing, how you prompt. The way in which you prompt will also dictate the direction where your prospect, how they respond to you or respond to the business. Okay. And so the prompting, the whole process of prompting is to seek that if they have that spark. There are people that when they have the spark, well, first, I like to, first, before I even prompt, I like to feel their vibe. Is this person I really want to work with, right? So that's just me. I'm selective that way. And so if are they the vibe that you want to gel with and bond with? If not, I will stay away. I will find, because where I invest my energy, my time matters. And so should you. And so I would choose the type of people that energetically you resonate with, vibrationally you resonate with. And then you really, out of care and sincere, genuine interest, to find out where they are. That's prompting, okay? And finding that spark. Now, there's something that you do in that process of sorting, which is never to wait on one prospect. A lot of times when people are going through the process, they will like pause, like, oh my gosh, I got someone that's interested. Then they forgot about pursuing anything and they do everything, spend their whole energy on waiting for one prospect to respond. Don't have your success wait on one person, okay? I think the analogy I like to use, like a lot of people like have a few people they talk to, and they would like a hen sitting on the chicken and hoping that the chicken will hatch, and they would sit on there for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then when you look later on, as you look back, 2 months have gone by, your business have not grown. Why? Because we gotta continue on building our pipeline and keep sorting, looking for your aces. And the thing is this, if you work this business right, okay, when you flip your card, guess what? Let's say you find your aces. I don't know, wherever that might be. Let's say they're out of, I don't know, this is maybe 20, 25 cards later, you found your ace. Well, this ace will also have his or her deck of cards named Waikiki. Okay, this ace is named Waikiki. Well, Waikiki also have 52 or more cards. Then you're gonna support Waikiki and teach Waikiki how to look for her aces. Okay, so you will never run out of people. So who are the people we sort? People you know, people you meet, and people you will meet. If you really wanted to change your life, you really want to pursue something, you Entrepreneurs are resourceful. They will find a way to make things work. That's what it is. I remember, 30 somewhat years ago, after I talked to all my friends, people that I went to college with, people I work in corporate America, when they all said no to me, I'm like, oh, my warm list have went out. What do I do? And I was hungry. I need to make things work. You know what I do? I went out and meet people. And back in the days, like 30 some more years ago in LA, we have a department store called Bullock's. Now you know I'm dating myself, okay? Bullock's, a Macy, or whatever. I didn't have money to shop back at that time, but guess what? I was window shopping. I was looking for people. And so I learned how to ask questions, prompting. Gotta get good at prompting, okay? So when in the sorting process, you gotta keep your pipeline full. Every day, think about this. You're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. Every day, you got 24 hours, okay? So ask yourself, how many people have I talked to every day? If you look at your business, if it's not where it should be, just look at your activity, look at your calendar. How many people you ever talked to? If you talk to nobody, well, wonder why your business is not where it should be. The activity, well, how you define your role, okay? And understanding the journey, the process, and your activities would dictate the results, the outcome of where you are. So having that understanding is very, very important. And don't just wait. Oh, I got this super prospect. If he or she gets in, it's going to be super cool. It's going to be super good. And you waited and waited and waited. A month, 2 months later, they go, well, it's not for me. Guess what? It is not for everybody. It can be for everyone, but they might not have the right perception of what it is for them to say no to. Most people say no because they don't thoroughly understand what it is, the meaning, the value, but that's okay. No judgment there. It is not for everyone. So when you understand that, you know the role that you're in, the avatar you're wearing, I am out there looking for a few good ones. We have built massive organizations, but did you think that everyone I talked to said yes, even in 3? Did everyone I talked to say yes? No. Did everyone join 3 work? No. But most of them love the product and stay on the product. But that's the nature of the business. And different business model have different things about their industry. So what I'm sharing with you is the journey and the processes it takes. Okay. So just be willing to, number one, know that you are Neo, know that you are the one. Should you decide yourself to be the one, okay? And so, all right, so that would take us, once you get someone, you find an ace, guess what? That would take you to stage 2, okay? Stage 2 meaning you're supporting your team. You are teaching your aces of what to do. How could you teach if you haven't done the work yourself? That's what I mean. That journey, the growing, the learning, the adapting, the pivoting, that journey will build experiences, will build wisdom in order for you to teach others, because this is the very essence of this, the pivotal thing to make this thing work is duplication. So when you're able to share your life experiences, the things that you went through, and people, we human beings, we resonate with stories. When people hear your story, what you've been through and how you've gone through it, they're like, you know what? If she or he can do it, so can I. And so understanding something, how we built a massive organization. I've talked to like thousands of people. Of thousands of people I talked to, 80 people joined me. Okay. Of 80 people joined me, you know how many people worked? Well, 20 people were staying on the product. Out of 20 people, do you know how many people worked? 6. 6. I mean, and these 6 people are not all directly. It's through somebody that led me to somebody that's considered 1. Okay. Then from that 1, it exploded because that 1 was an ace. Okay. And so stage 3, it's a supporting role. When you got an ace, you got to be willing to support them. When I say ace, meaning they say they want it and they're willing to do the work. There's a lot of people will tell you, I want it. And then when you ask them to show up, they won't. So that's not your ace, okay? So just move on. And so I think it's so important. I mean, human beings, sometimes they say, what they do, what they think, it's not in alignment. We're looking for people that are what they think, what they say, what they do are all in alignment. That's what we're looking for. It's sometimes like a needle in a haystack, but they're out there, okay? There are people that are out there just like you. As much as you are looking for them, they are looking for you. 32 years ago, my sponsor was looking for someone like me. And who would have known, who would have thought that someone got laid off 32 years ago, got onto this journey of growth and have the blessing of massing that what I have in life. And so it's not even what I have in life, it's what I become in life and what I'm becoming. Okay. So, all right, stage 3, supporting your team. And that is to teach them what you've learned. Teach them the things that worked. Share with them that journey. And then stage 4 of this success curve is leading the team. Okay, that means when you got a group, when you have aces, then they let you to other aces. Now you have a team to lead, and that's when. So you don't have to sort forever, like Christine Peterson says. You don't have to do this forever. Thank you, Christine. Oh, right there, the flower right here. Okay, so anyway, coming back to this. Okay, so now let me see. How do I point that? Oh, it's reverse right there. Oh, there. Oh, there. Okay. All right. So stage 4, leading your team. But before you have a team to lead, you got to sort and you got to support and you got to lead. How do you lead? How do you support? As your team grow, that's when you learn to leverage the global community. Okay. Leverage the tools that we have, leverage the tools the company had put together, calls like these. I mean, think about this. Every Tuesday, there are groups of entrepreneurs, leaders that are dedicated to do these calls to support your journey. That is absolutely incredible. And so the 4 stages, okay, now, the next thing I want to talk about, as I just gone through all the four stages, is you got to build before you bank. What does that mean? Look at these stages. Most people don't get. They quit before they even reach shore. Before they got shore, they quit before they got in the water. Okay. Now watch this. It's gotta be built before you bank. What do I mean by that? Look at that. You first gotta build relationship, build trust. You build your skill sets. Then you build your team. Then you bank your results. If you look at that line, that's in correlation with time and growth. Okay? What do I mean by that? If you look at this 2 chart compared together, first on the left side, okay, you've got the success curve, right? The different stages I talked about. Then you look at this one. You got to build before you bank. Look at that curve. Look at that curve. It correlates. Your growth will correlate with your bank. Okay. This is so crucial because I want to share something with you guys. Okay. Ready? Okay. Look at this. Right here, this curve, this success curve, up here is work. Okay. Up here's work. These are work. In the beginning, the tutorial, the learning, the adapting, the things that you gain are skill sets. So a wisdom and skill sets, things that you don't learn from a textbook. It's like riding a bike. You cannot learn how to ride a bike by reading a manual. You got to get on the bike, learn how to balance, maybe fall a little and get back on. Okay. So in the beginning, a lot of work. Your return is very tiny. But as you go on this beginning phase 1, tutorial, phase 2, sorting, phase 3, supporting. When you get to the middle right here, that's where equilibrium is. Maybe the work that you do kind of matches your return, but it won't until you find the right players. Then stage 4 is leading. Phase 4 is leading. That means when you're able to break through, you break through your first obstacles. When you're breaking through your obstacles, you create results. Because when you have results, when you have success, you're able to teach much better and more effectively. Had I not gone through what I've gone through, no one would listen to me. Let's just say that 32 years, I made no money, no success, no impact. How am I able to teach? The only reason I can take calls on the spot, I can take Q&A on the spot, because I have been in the trenches for 32 years and still in the trenches. All right, now, and so because I'm coming back to work. All right, now coming back to this, look at the end. Once you got your team going, you're able to lead a team. Look at that. This is the return and this is the work. So this is the success curve. Work, learning, growing, pivoting, adapting, and return. Okay, now the correlation. Look at the correlation. This is work. Work is growth, growing, learning. This is you bank the results. You bank your results right here. So you got to be willing to go through the curve. And I hope that this gives you a better understanding of the journey, because when you have a better understanding of the journey, it sets the right expectation. And when you have the right expectation, it will help you to create the reality that you live in. Okay, so I think this is much needed over this whole journey, in that a lot of people just come in and expect like results right away because they don't understand the journey. They got to do the tutorial. You've got to pass your first test, your first phase, before you can unlock stage 2 of the game. Okay, and so before you have a team to teach, you got to pass that sorting phase. If you don't have the right player in the team yet, there's nothing you need to teach. We got to hone our craft. We got to master our skill sets. So, this is something that I hope that will help you to have an understanding of what it is that we do. Three things, really, three things. Okay. One, we share, right? To sum it up, one, we share. Second, we teach. But you got to share enough and have success and experiences in order to teach. Now, if you are not there yet, you can leverage the system, the people that in your upline that have a success, leaders, or the Spark Global community. We have a global community that are here dedicated to support you. Truly, it's a devotion, what we're doing. And then we teach. And the last thing we do is we teach others to teach. For that is duplication. So I hope this short 40 minutes is of significance to you, will give you a better understanding of this journey. After working, I was abroad for 3 weeks and meeting so many different entrepreneurs from all walks of life. One lady had flown 38 hours, well, with stopover and whatever, just for 30 minutes. She flew 38 hours and met me in Hong Kong. I was thinking to myself, I'm humbled. I'm humbled someone would fly 38 hours for a short 30-minute meeting. Well, actually, I didn't meet with her 30 minutes. I met with her like 5 minutes, but she was at the training, the talk for 30 minutes. But this is someone that really, really wants it. And just to kind of like tie the whole thing together. And I want to do give a shout out to Dr. Lena Gamble. She is now, she's a medical doctor, a PhD in molecular pathology. She is in Malaysia. She's a US doctor now in Malaysia because, she shares something that's profound. She said in her medical profession, she's able to make an impact to her patients one-on-one. But with this global stage, she's able to make a much greater impact, educating more people on a global stage. And so we're really grateful to attract caliber of people that I would never imagine in this space. And I think, yes, we're living time of uncertainty. And yet in that uncertainty, there's beautiful possibilities. And it's what we do. The way I look at it, I come to earth to do my work. Whatever uncertainty, I'm going to make it the best. And when you make it the best, you're able to help make impact to other people, because it can be a beautiful world, and it is a beautiful world, and that I get the blessing to live in and to experience. With that, I thank you so very much for plugging in tonight on a Tuesday evening, and for those of you that are tuning in here. Thank you. Later on, for our friends that will watch on the recording, congratulations. And I hope that you found this video helpful. And there's a whole lot of videos on our Spark channel that whatever you want to learn, it's there. So with that, thank you so very much. I look forward to meeting you as I'm on my next travel, wherever it may take me. And we'll see you again. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.